I was diagnosed in 2005 with breast cancer that was driven by the hormone estrogen, which is the commonest form of breast cancer. I had very, very standard treatment. I had tamoxifen for a couple of years and then switched on to the new generation of anti-estrogen drugs. And after 5 years, I was having terrible pain, and went back to the doctors looking after me, and it turned out that my cancer had come back in my spine. It was a terrible shock. I assumed it was a death sentence. And it was only when I talked more with the doctors and things I realised that many women live for many years with a diagnosis of breast cancer. The first thing they did was to do an X-ray, which showed that I hadn't fractured any of my bones or anything, so there was nothing. I hadn't actually broken any of my bones, so there was nothing. It wasn't as if I'd fallen down or something. But then I went through a series of tests, and which took about 2 weeks, I think. And in fact, towards the end of it, I ended up in hospital because I was so unwell. And it was one of the scans that showed up that I had cancer in my spine, and it's the worst, absolutely the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
It must have been very frightening.
It was terrifying, and I just thought, I've got a year, maybe 2 years. So we booked all the holidays that I'd ever wanted to do. I wanted to go to Vietnam, I wanted to go to the Galapagos, and so we booked all of those and had fabulous holidays. Nobody knows why these cells just sit around in the body and don't do anything, and then suddenly 5, 10, even 15 years later. So there's obviously an awful lot of research that needs to be done to find out what is happening. Now I'm 3 years down the line and I'm thinking, okay, I've done all the big holidays.